Hi, everyone. Welcome to Magical Witchy World TV. I'm glad to be here tonight. It's Star Ravenhawk. My partner in crime, Rhonda Allen, is away tonight. She'll be back next week with us. And now on with our show. We have a wonderful guest tonight. So hold on one second.
It's a magical, witchy world. It's a magical, witchy world.
Hi, everyone. And as you can see, we've got our beautiful guest tonight, Julie Stuetzle. I should have asked you how you pronounced your name before I came on. I hope I'm saying it right. I hope I'm saying it right. Am I saying it
Well,
right?
you say in Southern German it's Stuetzle, but when I used to teach in the school, I say, call me Mrs. S.
Okay. Well, let's try to do this. How should I say it?
Stuetzle.
Stutzle. Okay.
There you go.
So again, Julie Stutzler, and she is Stutzler, sorry, on our Magical Witchy World TV. And we are very happy to have her here with us tonight. How are you?
I am good. I'm just a little tired because my grandkids are still here from Austria, but besides that, I'm fantastic being here. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. We've been looking forward to it. So, as per usual, we will discuss your bio with you, go over your bio so that everyone can hear and meet who you are as a person and what you do in your daily life. Okay. So, let's 1 second. As you guys can see, I'm doing both the technical and everything else. So I'm going to be a little bit slow, not like Rhonda, who flows so nice and seamlessly. Okay. Aurora Raven Dragonfly, aka Julie Ann Stratton. The basis of my teaching is gleaned from over 37 years of practice based in Germanic, Dianic, Gardnerian, and ultimately reclaiming witchcraft. I have led and participated in many covens over the years. The Circle of the Rising Phoenix, Sacred Daughters of Her, and Reclaiming the Radiant Wild. I did a Green Witch Intensive for a year with Susan Weed. I have taught workshops at Reclaiming Witch Camps, Spiral Heart, Wild Ginger, and Vermont Witch Camp, VWC. I organized for VWC for 3 years and was the World Witch Council as a representative for VWC, on the World Witch Council, sorry. Around 12 years ago, I started writing short stories, poems, a play, and eventually a novel which was published in 2020. The Witches of Regensburg, having been a voracious reader as a child and teen, I always journaled. My sequel, The Secret of Hunter Mountain, was published in December 2024. My first nonfiction piece was published in the Starlight magazine, fall of 2023. For the past 3 years, I've been teaching Wiccan classes all over central New York and taught 3 online classes. Some of my teachers are Judith Janberg, Lucia Francia, Angelica Aliti, Susan Weed, Starhawk, Pat Harmatok, and many more. The goddess, though, has been my greatest teacher and mentor. I love working with people, dance, and co creating magical experiences. I also love gardening, writing, and music. And you can reach out to Julie at www.julieannstratton.org, which I will let me go and try to put this and have it running across the screen for you guys so that you will be able to reach out to her at the end of the show. Okay. So just wanted you guys to know this. Okay. Julie, we've been looking forward to this. It's such a pleasure having you join us here tonight. Okay. So let's begin with some of our questions. So, one of the questions we always ask everyone is that you actually just mentioned to me behind the scenes that you've called yourself many different names. But we're not just talking about that. We're talking about maybe even what you've called yourself as a magical practitioner of whatever it is. And so over the years, we kind of, call ourselves, different things. And then finally you end up in one where you say, okay, I'm that witch or I'm that Wiccan or whatever it is. So we kind of want to have that little arc of what you called yourself or referred to yourself as, and what you refer to yourself presently.
So when I'm in my, that's a great question. When I'm in my circles of witches, I call myself Aurora Raven Dragonfly. And the reason why I do that is when I was in the Gardnerian circle, I chose a name and it was Aurora. It was beginning, right? That was the beginning, the Aurora Borealis that inspired me to do that. And then the second name, Raven, I acquired when I was in a Dianic circle called Sacred Daughters of Her. I just kept seeing ravens everywhere and they're like communicators. And I thought, oh, that's my second name. And the reason why I didn't stay in Gardnerian is because it's hierarchical. And I didn't always identify with the hierarchical structures. And then in Sacred Daughters of Her, which was Dianic, and I loved all my coven sisters. I practiced, all the time. We were constantly in circle. Is because it was left out the male aspect, the male god and men, and that didn't quite work for me. And then the final name Dragonfly comes from reclaiming, where I was like up at one of the Vermont witch camps and I saw dragonflies everywhere, and I took a Hecate path, right? And I was in a trance of a Hecate trance, and she gave me a dragon. She gave me a dragon, says, you don't have to, we're at the crossroads, but you can get on a dragon now. You are now a guardian between fire and air. And
Right.
I took the name Dragonfly. So I have these three names that are, tied to the traditions that I've practiced and done. So
Okay. All right.
it
So
stops
what
at
about
yeah.
so what about what you refer to yourself as? Not just the names, but the actual, like, did you call yourself Wiccan, a pagan? Like what was the names that, what do you refer to yourself as? Not just the names itself.
I would call myself a witch, and
Okay.
also that
All
I
right.
practice closer to the Wiccan traditions. So it's not just paganism, but I would call myself a witch. Mhm.
Okay, all right. Because then my questions are then followed based on what, like, say the next question is what brought you to the world of being that witch.
Oh my goodness, it was a lot. It was like it started with the Wizard of Oz, right? So like I was
That's a good one.
fascinated with the Wicked Witch of the West, and my dad would make the marionettes of the whole Wizard of Oz, and I always wanted to play the witch. I don't know why. I just felt drawn. And I was really super lucky that my dad is a scientist and an atheist, because he didn't raise. I wasn't baptized or anything, and I kept looking everywhere for, what is. Well, who am I? I went to the Catholics. I went to the Episcopalians. I went like the Jewish tradition, and I tried Quaker, and I never found it. I kept looking and looking, and I couldn't find it. And I was in
Right.
Austria. I lived for 20 years in Austria, and I stumbled on a book called Ich bin eine Hexe. I'm a witch. And I read the book by Judith Janberg, and it was very like nature orientated, about herbalism, about connecting to nature, about being, those healers of Europe before the Catholics took over, right? And I said,
Right, right.
oh my God, that's what I am. And it was just
There you
like,
go.
there it was. It was like, I've
You
been
feel-
looking for you everywhere. And I happened to live in a commune with her daughter, and I ended up going meeting Judith Janberg and then studying with her. So it was just my path opened up like that. So
yeah, it usually does. Once you realize where it is, then it kind of takes you to guide you to where you've got to go. That's
yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
So from your point of view, what does it mean to be a witch?
Well, for me, I think it's connecting to that divine inner goddess and the divinity of feminine in my daily life and everything that I do. Like I love to, just connect to nature, and I like practicing witchcraft. That means I'm a ritualist. I love being in ritual, like when I celebrate Imbolc, or if I celebrate a full moon, that I dive deep into the work of the full moon ritual. That's what it
Right,
means to me. Being a witch is being in the practice of it on not a daily, but on a continuous basis.
right. Absolutely. Actually, which then that's a great segue, because the next question is, how is magic part of your lifestyle? Because you're basically saying it's literally embedded in who you are. So please go further into that.
Well, I think that one of the things that explain it for me is I didn't really explain it as well as I think Starhawk did once in one of her books. He says it's a shifting of awareness. The magic is all around us. We all have magic, connecting us. And some people just are not aware of it. It's there. Kids are aware of it all the time, as in
Yeah,
our
all the
teachers.
time. Yeah.
We're all the time aware of it. It's that awareness of those chronicities, synchronicities, I'm a crone now, that are happening and that you're aware of it. That's what's magic is for me, of
Right.
connection. For me, it has to do with that deep connection to like meeting new people, to trees, to animals, and things will then happen. And then I have had things, wishes come true, where I think, ooh, I made that wish. Ooh, it came true. But being aware that we are in this together and that being mindful around the magic too. So
Yeah.
yeah, for the good of all. I'm very, very connected for the good of all, and I feel
Right.
very grateful for the good things that have come to my life because I've went through had a lot of trauma too. So this is, I'm very aware of the balance.
Right. Right. Awesome. Okay. So tell us about what's a bit become a part important to you. And you kind of said a little bit of it just now, but
Mhm.
what do you consider that's become very, very important to you right now?
Um, so for me, I was my whole life I was a musician. I still am. I love music and everything. And I felt like in the public school setting that I couldn't really out myself as being a witch. So for me, is integrating my
Yeah.
full person and being out with it. And also, I think for me, it's connecting to other people about the divine feminine and about witchcraft and reclaiming that healing aspect of the divine feminine spiritually with other people, like co-collaborating things, doing podcasts. And then also what's really important for me is getting the word out there, I guess teaching it, like being in
Mm.
connection. And um and then one way is I've decided to go through writing fiction instead of nonfiction, that somebody could pick up my book and say, oh, I'm not a witch, but I can read about it, right? So writing is very important outlet. Being creative, I think, is for me right now important, and connecting to the people I love.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you mentioned some things about community. So I'm going to kind of
Mhm.
segue a little bit to that. So let's talk about the community and you. How are you integrating the community with yourself and things that you're doing?
Um, when I talk about communities, sometimes the community that I'm in right now, as far as the witch world, is the reclaiming community, and they have reclaiming witch camps all over. So I
Mm-hmm.
like going in community and creating magic at these witch camps. But I also like participate in like pagan Pride Day here in Central New York, and also in the community. I talk about my community in Syracuse where I live. So
Mm.
because I taught here as a teacher in this community and I lived here in the city, that's also my community, making my community, the people I live with in Syracuse, a better place, because Syracuse is one of the cities that happens, unfortunately, to be a very poor city. So my community is, I want to like just be there for the people in my community. And then just recently, because I am an activist on one side too, I am now volunteering. I took the training for Vera House, which is helps with shelters for women from domestic violence. So I don't, I
Right.
do believe in raising the divine feminine, but I also like to be out in the world. So now I'm at the call center, and I'm going to be supporting my community that I live in as well.
Right, right. No, that's awesome because, like, I think I was telling you behind the scenes that our a Witch Fest event that goes on every July, it's always been a charity-based event, and we used to pick different charities each year, and now we've stayed on three that we think is very, very crucial, and will be so going forward. And that's the City Harvest, which is again with the feeding with the pantries, providing collecting dried good foods, and that way they can pick up City Harvest and send it out to the different pantries to help families. That Jay let us know sometimes there are 40 families that the food was collected and it fed, and it lets you feel good to know that you're being able to help get people get food. We also do St. Jude Children's Hospital for cancer, and we also do Feed America. So a lot of it is based on what we're seeing happening present day with food insecurity and different things like that, which has been getting worse this year. So a lot of what we're doing is to help with that. So it sounds like you're kind of along the same way at food insecurity up there. And hopefully some of it can go for you guys in the same way in collecting food and other things that you guys do.
Yeah,
Awesome.
absolutely. And I think that as a spiritual person, and if you see yourself as a healer, that's that's the people you live with. I don't see myself separated from that, but
Right, right.
integrated. And you know, we if the pagan pride does that too, we also collect. I mean, I'm going there as a vendor, but it's run by a different the Church of the Greenwood. They also collect to go to pagan pride day, which is very successful. It's been around for like 25 years. Is they
Hmm.
collect food, and that is also as the entrance fee, and that's then donated to the food pantry in Syracuse. So that really
Yeah,
goes along the lines. And reclaiming is also close to my lines because there's a lot of scholarships that we do and community-based work that they do. A lot of the people who are in the reclaiming community are activists as well for social
yeah, that's
justice.
awesome. I'm glad people are all doing that because we just need to do step up and try to help as much as we can. So it's wonderful to see. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So what are some of the things that you would like to see witches accomplish, right? Especially right now.
Oh, that is a big question. I there's so much. I disbelieve. I thoroughly believe it's the energy balance of the divine feminine, the divine male, and the mysterious ones, and all of the. Actually, I see gender now more as a spectrum, as a pansexual, pangender. So I just see the balance. We need to raise the balance that I think we connecting to the animal world, our spirits world with the plants and the trees to raise the energies for the consciousness of our world, because our world, in our environment, and all of the animals and all of the trees and all of that, they need us and we need them. And I think that
Yeah,
our biggest thing is the environment, and we're part of the environment, right? So
yeah,
like if we're
yeah,
helping feed people, we are environment, right? So I think um maybe being more vocal about it, even though I have to admit I got a little scared with the change of government to out myself, but I've decided I'm not going back. I'm going to stay out loud. Um, so maybe yeah, connecting, um, educating people about what really witchcraft is, raising up the divine feminine. That's, I guess,
yeah,
my
bringing
thing.
awareness, right? Yeah, which is
Yeah.
true because it's so funny that you mentioned that with the change in government, there's a lot of people that felt that they may have to go back into the broom closet, which they don't want to do, but they feel like what's going to happen? Where are we going right now? And you're seeing a lot of changes that's negative that will eventually get to us. It is what it is. Um, you know, the
Yeah.
rise of whatever it is that the people want to think. But anyways, so what projects do you have coming up or thinking about? So give us some ideas with that. Go ahead.
Well, one of them is I want to come to New York City to your fair next year.
Which
But
I told
the
you,
big
I'm gonna put up the application for Witches Fest shortly. So what are we in August? Yeah, at the end of August, beginning of
um,
September, it will be up. So we'll be accepting applications then, and we would love to have you come down and join us. It would be wonderful.
yes. So
So what else have you got? What other projects do you have coming
well,
up?
some of the projects are to continue connecting more and more with different festivals that are around that are spirit that I. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can
I
hear you.
can't hear you right now.
You can't?
Oh, okay. So I want to continue connecting to witchcraft communities, spiritual communities that I align with. So one of them
Hmm.
is in Canada. I want to connect to these Canadian witch school and make the connection. I
Right.
want to continue connecting to. I go to something called Spirit Kindred Medicine and Music Festival, always in September. I want to connect to more festivals like in New York, and continue weaving the web of connection. For me
Right.
personally, my big project is writing my third book to my trilogy called the Red Amaryllis series, and it's going to be called
Nice.
probably Inanna Rising. Is the third book. It's going to be about the Sumerian poet priestess Edwana, and
Right.
it's going to be set in two time periods. So I'm at the point writing the third book, which is a big undertaking.
That's awesome. That's congratulations with that. And I wishing you all the best with that. And it's funny you mentioned doing the Canadian connection and all of that, which I'm from Canada. Um, and even I have some misgivings with traveling back and forth to Canada right now. And my family do not want to enter the US right now, coming from Canada. Um, there's a lot of people that are having issues with the international travel right now. And despite you're right there almost, right? At Syracuse, right? So you're right near Canada or closer to Canada than I am in the city. So yeah, it's a little bit of concerning is what the word would be. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So I know you mentioned wanting to come to Witches Fest, which we would love to have you. What other events are you thinking of doing this year and possibly into next year?
Well, like I said, I'm doing Pagan Pride in September. I'm at an event called Intentional Feminine, which is also a day long festival here in Central New York. I'm doing the Kindred Spirit. I'm teaching a class called Magical Writing, where we use tarot cards. It's really a lot of fun. And then that's a 4-day festival in Ithaca. Then in September, I am going to travel to Canada for Samhain and collaborate with them, creating a Halloween Samhain
Mm.
ritual. And then in November, I'm going to something I can't being old. Change Times is some kind of mystical fair in Connecticut. Just like, I'm so sorry. In Connecticut, yeah, I'm going to go to a 4-day
Right,
mystical thing,
right.
and I'll teach them,
Okay.
and I'll do vending there too. Hmm.
Awesome.
And
Awesome. That's so
next
great.
year, I'll probably, yeah. And then I don't know about next year yet because I'm starting to plan next year right now. So we'll
Okay.
see.
Well, we are
I'm
expecting you at
lucky.
Witches Fest next year. We're expecting you next year then.
Right.
Okay. So those are the events. So we have your information going across the screen, and you're welcome to stay with us behind the scenes and watch everything else. And we want to thank you so much for being on the show tonight, and helping us share your message of who you are, the things you do, and people can reach out to you if you see her website scrolling across the screen. I try to follow what Rhonda does, so I did my best that I can. So I hope people enjoyed having you here with us tonight, and we want to thank you so much for being with us.
Yeah, thank
And
you.
we hope to have
Thank
you
you so
back.
much. Yeah.
You are quite welcome.
Oh, yeah.
All right, hold hold on, everyone. All right, so it is astrology time, everyone. Hold on. So I'm doing all the astrology for us tonight because, as we know, Rhonda is not here. So we're picking up from where we left off. So tonight it's Cancer, beginning with Cancer. But again, in general, for August, your horoscope says that it's not too late to turn your summer around. Okay. So, Cancer, your August horoscope wants you to let go of shame and start over. You're right where you need to be. There's no shame in starting over. You have a chance to rebuild your life as your Cancer horoscope for August 2025 finds Leo season fortifying your second house of value systems, personal security, and wealth. Believe in yourself because Venus felt corralled by Neptune and Saturn retrograde on August 1st, which may have caused struggle with self worth and self respect. If your life isn't exactly where you thought it would be by now, okay? Luckily, you were able to start again when Mars entered Libra on August 6th, though it did kind of require taking a step back since Mars was opposed Saturn and Neptune retrograde during those few days, okay? which gave you time to kind of identify what's worth your time, energy, and effort at the full moon in Aquarius on August 9th. This will give you the impetus to start taking actions to achieve your dream life by the third week of August. However, you may want to make your moves in silence since Mars will align with Pluto retrograde, making you feel safer and stable once Mercury retrograde entered on August 11th. These inner changes will reflect in some immediate adjustments in your career path and life work, since extroverted Saturn retrograde will also work with introverted Venus. And now that you're getting back on track, you should feel better than ever, which had you looking forward to Venus aligning with Jupiter in Cancer on August 12th, which represented a positive turning point. Continue thinking and speaking positively to feel confident about the journey that you're undertaking. Positive affirmations of support and validation will come when Mercury meets with Mars again on August 18th. Take this energy with you into Virgo season, which will begin on August 22nd. Virgo season can be a little anxious, so start this period with a hopeful outlook and joyful attitude. Set the intention to keep thinking and speaking positively under the new moon in Virgo the following day. You will be amazed by how much positive thinking can change your life over the next 6 months. An unconscious bias or perspective will not match up with your reality when Uranus in Gemini throws the sun off its game on August 24th. And you might feel shaken, but that's okay. Whatever happens will teach you more about what you truly desire and value as Venus enters Leo the following day. Redefine what makes you feel secure as Venus meets with Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus over the next few days. And you might feel surprisingly in control of your life as you change your approach. Know that you have all the tools and resources that you require to transform your life as Venus opposes Pluto retrograde on August 27th. Trust the journey even if you cannot see where it will lead or what it may produce as yet, okay? There's still so much to explore, consider and improve as you go into September. So that's Cancer. That sounds really good for you, Cancer. Okay, now we're going to go into Leo. For all of you Leos, your August horoscope says that an unexpected development may shock you. The future is now. It's happening now for you. Speak from the heart when you speak of your future. Be honest and forthright because your Leo horoscope for August begins with Leo season, strengthening your first house of selfhood, self-perception, and identity. Committing to future plans felt scarier than usual when Venus confronted Neptune and Saturn retrograde on August 1st. Once Mars entered Libra on August 6th, it had you standing up when an opportunity came around. Some answers presented themselves regarding potential commitments you had around the full moon in Aquarius on August 9th, giving you the knowledge of where you stand moving forward. An eye-opening conversation regarding your plans and goals will bring you immense clarity when Venus became empowered by Pluto retrograde on August 10th. Whatever came to light would help you feel more self-assured when Mercury retrograde ended on the 11th of August. With newfound certainty, it inspired you to assume more responsibility for the dreams that you want to pursue, which made you feel more optimistic when Venus aligned with Jupiter in Cancer on August 12th, making your mindset and outlook positively impact your fate and destiny. Continue asking questions, seeking more information, and consulting your close confidants as Mars exits Mercury on August 18th. Everything you talk about will be immensely valuable, which will become more apparent after Virgo season begins on August 22nd. However, you may need to be more mindful of your finances in the next 6 months. The new moon in Virgo rises a day later, asking you to think of your values and wealth as you proceed with your plans. An unexpected development regarding one of your aspirations may take you by surprise when Uranus in Gemini radicalizes the sun on August 24th. All right? The financial aspect of pursuing this dream may suddenly change which could go either way, okay? Regardless of what happens, you will feel self assured in your ability to handle anything that happens once Venus enters your sign the next day. So be confident that you can handle the responsibility of pursuing your long-term goals while handling the curveballs and surprises that may come your way. Before this month ends, you may want to consider if your close connections empower or disempower you when Venus opposes Pluto retrograde on August 27th. Unforeseen changes will destabilize your community, but it will help clarify the path that you want to take as you pursue your aspirations. I want you to keep in mind that these unexpected twists and turns will make more sense in the coming months. All right? So that was Leo. You had some interesting things and it spoke about your money. Virgo. I just mentioned money, right? Virgo, your August horoscope says you're a money magnet this month. May wealth find you wherever you go. Okay? Master your mind to master your finances and career path. Be mindful of unconscious influences since your Virgo horoscope for August 2025 finds Leo season activating your 12th house of unconscious hidden matters and mystery. Fears surrounding the financial plausibility of your dreams will hit as Neptune and Saturn retrograded that cause Venus to feel insecure on August 1st. It won't be the right time to invest in your dreams just yet. However, there was more action surrounding your financial means and opportunities when Mars had entered Libra on August 6th. Some professional opportunities arose over the days when Mars connected with Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus, which had you taking everything into consideration as you closed one work cycle before starting the next during the full moon in Aquarius on August 9th. A deep desire for more transformed your work life would be when Mars aligned with Pluto retrograde on August 10th. Insecurity, fear, and negativity dissipated when Mercury retrograded ended on the 11th. A surge of unprecedented confidence will help you navigate the twists and turns your career path promises. That made you feel rather helpful than a connection, collaboration, or aspiration will pan out when Venus aligned with Jupiter on August 12th. As everything came together, this will continue to subconsciously and unconsciously motivate you to continue your hard work. A private discussion regarding your financial desires and expectations may occur on August 18th as Mars pulls Mercury for a chat. This discussion could set the tone for Virgo season, which begins on August 22nd. Your zodiac season will hopefully reinforce your confidence and certainty in your worth. Set the intention to continue building your self confidence under the new moon in Virgo a day later. You will see a notable difference in your self perception throughout this next 6 months. Unforeseen plot twists in your career could unnerve you when wacky Uranus in Gemini throws the sun off its game on August 24th. And you may feel shaken, but you won't feel beaten down. These twists and turns might even help you launch something better in your career path. But for now, you may want to keep your financial opportunities and professional connections a secret when Venus enters Leo the next day. Discretion will be advised since Venus will meet Saturn, Neptune. Um, let's see, it will meet, okay, it will meet Venus. Venus will meet Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus over the coming days. Immense financial and professional changes will take place behind the scenes as Venus opposes Pluto retrograde on August 27th. And you may feel insecure of where your work life or financial opportunities are heading, but this will only be temporary. The upcoming cosmic energy of September will provide much needed clarity, so hold on until then. It will play itself out. All right. And the last sign for tonight is Libra. So that your August horoscope urges you to choose yourself no matter what. Don't hold back. Don't be afraid to be strong. Go after your desires as your Libra horoscope for August 2025 claims that Leo season will instill bravery in your 11th house of collaboration. friendship, and dreams. What do you actually want to do? This question lingered on your mind when Venus confronted Neptune and Saturn retrograde on August 1st, which made you realize that the personal arrangements you're committed to no longer aligned with your life's work and purpose. So, forcing you to make a significant changes when Mars entered your sign on August 6th. Consider each commitment and partnership as you look at all your options. It made you kind of uncomfortable, but you had to detach from any arrangements that no longer suited you during the full moon in Aquarius on August 9th. Your newfound courage and confidence made you transform your self expression when Mars linked up with Pluto retrograde on the 10th, which ended, up changing your community and friendships when Mercury retrograded ended on August 11th, causing you to not focus on those who feel threatened by your presence, allowing the right people needed to stand by you when Venus joined up with Jupiter. That will be joined up on with Jupiter on August 12th. You found out who your true friends were by those who supported you by validating your talents, acknowledging your success, and cheering you on. And some of those connections would become something more in your fate and destiny sector. Continued support from friends, colleagues, and peers will find you on August 18th as Mercury supports Mars. Although you will feel loved and validated, you may want to keep your reflections to yourself. On August 22nd, Virgo season will begin and cautions you to be more discreet about how you perceive each connection. By the next day, the new moon in Virgo will help you set the intention to continue checking in with yourself as you consider each relationship over the next 6 months. Your personal reflections will completely change the way that you perceive your journey as Uranus unnerves the sun on August 24th. Although this could be shocking, it might not be negative. Okay. Newfound realizations about your future goals and more will give you perspective, and you may feel differently about who joined you in your journey. Be open to meeting new people who could support you once Venus enters Leo the very next day. So look for signs to see which potential connection might be significant in your life over the next few days. Who should you share your dreams with? Be careful about who you disclose your passions and hopes to, since Venus will oppose Pluto retrograde. And hopefully, you will leave this month feeling less self assured in your close relationships. Only time will tell who's here for the long haul, which may become evident as September begins. But in general, that's okay because you need to know who's there for you and who will support you and who will not. All right. So that's the end of the astrology for tonight. And we're going to move on to the tarot. Okay, hold on. All right. So you've got your cards. I hope you do. If whether you're watching right now or in the playback, get your cards out, and I want you to shuffle it. And I want you guys to think about there's a lot of celestial events happening throughout this month, especially between the 17th to the 20th. There's a lot going on. The planets are lining up. I think it's called the planetary parade of the last one for of the planetary parades for 2025. And I want you guys to think about what can be revealed for you by all the celestial events to help you throughout the rest of this season. What do you think would provide some sort of a revelation for you? All right. And you're going to choose one card. Again, just let yourself, as you're shuffling, think about what I just said. Again, what can be revealed for you by all the celestial events that may help you throughout the rest of this season? And you'll pick that one card. All right. Let me get that one card for me. All right. Oh my goodness. I'm always somehow getting pentacles in one way or the other. And I have got the Knight of Pentacles. I don't know if you can see it too well or anything, but it's the Knight of Pentacles. I hope you guys can see it properly. It's a nice one. I like it. He's kind of a loner, but it feels like he is forging forward. He's got his mindset of things. He's looking at land, and which is what I'm looking at. So for me, my thing is get that land as soon as possible. And I'm walking in there. I am not rich or anything, and that's what he suggests. He's not rich or anything, but he's coming in with enough of what um, he's preparing for generational wealth, for things to pan itself out. And he's coming in with that dark horse and everything else around him. The animals are there. To me, that's supportive and helpful, because if you look on this side here, I think there's an elk, or yeah, right over there, and a reindeer. And to me, I always think of them as the goddess Diana or different goddesses coming in to help and assist. So to me, I am seeing a lot of positive things right there as to what's, and the fact that it's a forging forward of something, of providing things, of the land providing for you, which is what I'm looking for, farmland to help it to be self-sustaining. Because again, we were talking earlier when we were talking with the Julie about food insecurity and a lot of different things. So to me, that's a positive. And I hope what came for you guys are a positive for you, and you see something coming up for your season. All right. Next week, our guest will be Shakti Thara, and she'll be here on August 22nd. And tonight, we want to say thank you to Julie Ann Stratton for being with us to hear. For all of you in the chat, whether in the playback or now, we want to thank you all for being with us tonight. And please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And whether on YouTube or wherever else, let us know of who else you'd like to see. And we want to thank you for being with us tonight, okay? So much, as per usual. Take care.